Hello, today I want to talk about something you may think it's mundane, but it's very important. It's about the Irish budget. Now, up until March of this year, Ireland has taken in 24 billion in corporate tax take, which is absolutely huge, given that our complete budget, our expenditure, is roughly 105 billion euro per year. Now, around 2010, 2012, our average corporate tax take was 4 billion. So it's a double-edged sword. Yes, it's great to have this money, but it also makes us very dependent, because taking in almost a quarter of the state's revenue in corporate tax take is very, very dangerous. Why do we get so much corporate? These corporations come here because they make profits, not because we're in the EU. And manufacturing tariffs globally are roughly around 3%, where when we joined the EU in 1973, they were roughly 15%. So there's a huge difference. We sell 32% of our exports to the US. We sell 38% of our exports to within the European Union. So that small difference of 6%. With the US, we sell almost a third of our goods there, but we're not in a political union with the US. Our Supreme Court, ultimate Supreme Court, is not in Washington, and we don't have open borders or free movement with the United States of America. So why do we do it with Brussels? Bit crazy, huh? Because at the minute, in matters of EU competence, EU law is superior to Irish law, the Irish Supreme Court, and the Irish Constitution. So that clearly is not a sovereign, independent Ireland. So the corporate tax take, let's look at it. The EU has, at the OECD, has put on pressure on Ireland to accept that it would be increased from 12.5% to 15%. It's very dangerous that the Irish government has accepted the principle that the EU, and even if it is at the level of the OECD, can increase our minimum corporate tax rate. It's a very dangerous principle to accept. It's a loss of fiscal sovereignty. Secondly, corporate tax is very flighty. These multinationals, when they get a better deal and they make more profits in Taiwan, they will up overnight and leave, and all the corporate tax which Ireland is currently getting can dry up very, very quickly. A third problem is that the Irish government solution to everything at the minute is to just throw money at it. Like, for example, 1 in 4 hotel beds at the minute are taken in by migrants. The Irish government solution is just to spend, spend, spend. Of course, one of the problems we have now is inflation. Post-lockdown and another massive splurge in government spending. So we have inflation. A fourth problem is that really, shouldn't we be using this money to invest in indigenous Irish industry? Because these global corporations, they don't actually employ that many Irish people in Ireland. No, they employ a lot of non-nationals in Ireland, and doesn't really help us long term. Indigenous Irish industry, which we should be supporting and helping to grow, investing in that, would employ more Irish people, and it would be less flighty, less open to risk of taking off tomorrow. A fifth problem, or a fifth, let's say, good thing that we could actually do with this corporate tax take is to actually invest it for the future. Now, Charlie McCreevy, almost 20 years ago now, initiated and started up a huge pension fund, and we need to do that again and put money aside for a rainy day, because we all know it's going to come in the future, and it's the task of statesmen and responsible politicians to prepare the country for when times get tough and when the economy hits the buffers again, because without doubt it will. So we shouldn't become addicted to this single stream of fiscal income which is coming into tax. We need to diversify our streams of income into the exchequer. We need to take advantage and invest this money into Irish industry. We have to be very wary of the EU, because not only has it already forced us to accept the principle of losing tax sovereignty and pushing up our corporate tax rate from 12.5% to 15%, but the EU long term wants to introduce new rules on a corporate tax base, which means the rules, how the profits made by multinationals are shared out, will change. They would change from where the tax is paid where the company is headquartered to where the people are employed, i.e. in the bigger states, or more importantly, where the goods are sold, i.e. France and Germany. That would mean that the Irish government takes in less corporate taxes than it is at the moment. So the EU is ultimately our enemy when it comes to corporate tax sovereignty. So we have to be aware of all these issues and act accordingly. As a sovereign, independent Ireland would act in the best interests of its people. And that's what the Irish Freedom Party wants. So my name is Herman Kelly. I'm president of the Irish Freedom Party. Go to Magatha.